Beyond the Gates. The week that changes everything. The CBS drama Beyond the Gates is entering its most explosive stretch yet, with the promo for the week of June 16, 20 hinting at betrayals, secrets unraveling, and lines being crossed at Fairmont Crest. Every moment in this upcoming week pushes characters closer to the edge, and for some, there may be no turning back. Emotions flare, alliances shift, and truths long buried begin to claw their way to the surface. Strap in. This isn't a week anyone will forget. The preview opens with a deceptively soft Chelsea Hamilton and Dr. Madison Montgomery sharing an intimate candlelit evening. After a flirty, laughter-filled gathering in Madison's home during the June 13th episode, their chemistry is undeniable. What started as casual storytelling and stolen glances escalates quickly. The promo makes no effort to be subtle. Madison and Chelsea kiss, a moment charged with passion and risk. The camera lingers just long enough to make viewers question, how far do they go? Is this the start of something real, or the ignition of chaos for both women? But just as things heat up between Madison and Chelsea, the preview pivots to a darker thread unraveling elsewhere in Fairmont Crest. Martin Richardson, as tightly wound as ever, is seen losing control, slamming a man into a wall in the club's staff corridor. The man in question, the enigmatic news server played by Jason Venderies, who's been shadowing Martin and Vernon Dupree in ways that feel far too deliberate. The promo flashes back to a moment that haunted Martin during the June 13th episode, the phrase whispered in the ear of Congressman Dupree. "What color is your money?" The weight of that line is crushing. Fans who've followed Martin's backstory know that phrase isn't just random, it's part of a mantra tied to the deeply buried secret he's been running from. For that same phrase to be spoken by a man in disguise is more than suspicious, as it's a threat. Martin knows it. Vernon knows it. And now, it's out in the open. Cut to Vernon on the phone in a moment of pure dread. "He's back," he says. Just 2 words, but the tone is chilling. Whoever he is, he's a ghost from their postone that's no longer content to stay dead. Meanwhile, across town, Andre Richardson brings his own brand of disruption into the week. In a scene that veers from playful to jarring, he's standing shirtless on Ashley Morgan's bed as she yells, "Wake up, sleepyhead." Her confusion turns to horror in seconds. There's a loaded silence in the promo. And then the real question, did they sleep together? Was this a drunken mistake? Or is something deeper going on? Andre, reckless and impulsive, already caused shockwaves earlier with Derek Baldwin's proposal to Ashley just a few days before. That context makes this moment even more volatile. Is this betrayal or manipulation, or both? Could Andre be setting up a deliberate wedge between Ashley and Derek? Or is Ashley the one caught between desire and guilt? But the Andre chaos doesn't stop there. In one of the week's most jaw-dropping reveals, Donnie Dupree confronts him about their secret affair. "Are you telling me my niece and daughter know we've been sleeping together?" she demands. Donnie's composure begins to crack as the weight of scandal settles in. Viewers will remember the moment Andre stormed into the guest house on June 13th, interrupting Chelsea and Cott as they were settling in. That wasn't an accident, it was an ambush. Andre has no patience for discretion, and his reckless entry makes it clear that whatever's happening between him and Donnie isn't just a fling. It's a ticking time bomb. Now Donnie is faced with a choice: maintain the illusion or brace for the fallout. Her daughter and niece knowing about her affair could be the undoing of more than her dignity. It could fracture the entire family. Elsewhere in the Hamilton household, things grow darker. Haley Hamilton is seen confronting her husband, Bill. He's distant, unresponsive, and more than a little off. "What's going on?" she asks, her voice cracking with worrying. The promo gives no room for comfort. It immediately cuts to Bill making a phone call. He's asking about a life insurance policy. This isn't speculation anymore. Bill's health may be failing. The call is laced with resignation. Whether it's a recent diagnosis or a long-standing illness finally catching up to him, it's clear Bill is preparing for something irreversible. The question is, will Haley find out in time? Or is Bill making arrangements behind her back to protect her or hide from her? As all this brews, the Richardson family once again finds themselves at the center of another emotional storm. Nicole Richardson is shown standing in the doorway of Ted Richardson's office. Her face is unreadable, but in her hand is an envelope heavy, white, and final. "I need to do this," she says. Ted looks at her, solemn and certain. "Then let's do it." Fans are already speculating that Nicole is holding divorce papers. The couple's relationship has been strained for months, weighed down by old betrayals and new silences. If this is the end, it's one that's been a long time coming, but that doesn't make it any less devastating. Their marriage, once unshakable, may finally be splintering beyond repair. The promo doesn't let up. It moves fast, scene after scene, escalating with each cut. In just 5 days, Beyond the Gates promises to unravel long-held secrets, ignite forbidden passions, and topple carefully constructed lies. Chelsea and Madison's budding romance might be the spark of something genuiner, a scandal waiting to explode. Martin and Vernon are under siege by a ghost from their past who knows too much. Andre is sowing chaos in multiple directions. Ashley, Donnie, and whoever else gets in his orbit. Donnie must now deal with the judgment of her own family, while Bill hides a life-altering truth from his wife. And Nicole may be ready to walk away from a lifetime with Ted. Beyond the Gates is no longer just a drama about secrets behind closed doors. This week, those doors are blown wide open. Every storyline is reaching a boiling point. The web of relationships at Fairmont Crest is fraying, and all it takes is one spark to set the whole thing ablaze. Beyond the Gates, the collapse of a marriage, the return of a past love, and the latest storyline twist from Beyond the Gates. The narrative tightens its grip on the complex entanglements surrounding Bill Hamilton, his current wife, Haley Lawson Hamilton, and his ex-wife, Donnie Dupree. What was once seen as a modern love triangle is quickly unraveling into something much deeper, a battle between convenience and true connection, between status and soul. The upcoming episodes won't just mark a turning point in Bill's recovery after a minor stroke. They're set to rip apart the illusion of love, one difficult truth at a time. When Bill Hamilton suffered a stroke, everything changed. Not only for him physically, but emotionally, psychologically, relationally. He was a man who once had it all: a powerful presence, a successful business career, a commanding reputation in Fairmont Crest, and two very different women tangled in his life story. But now, as he stares down a daunting 8-month recovery process, it becomes clear that he must rely on more than just physical therapy to return to form. He must rebuild the crumbling foundation of his personal life, starting with the question, who really stands by him? Haley Lawson Hamilton entered Bill's life like a whirlwind, young, vibrant, beautiful, and eager. To some, their whirlwind romance and marriage seemed opportunistic, but Bill believed he had found something fresh and rejuvenating in her. Haley, meanwhile, had stars in her eyes. She married not just a man, but a lifestyle, wealth, power, and the social ascension she had long sought. But the stroke shattered the dream. Gone were the glamorous dinners, the country club outings, the weekend getaways. Instead, what awaited Haley now was a husband who needed constant care, endless patience, and a heart strong enough to endure it all. She wasn't prepared. From the moment Bill returned home from the hospital, the cracks in their marriage widened. Haley tried at first. She accompanied him to doctor appointments, ordered organic groceries, spoke to physical therapists. But the reality of being a full-time caregiver set in quickly and harshly. Her smile faded. Her absences grew. Shopping trips became longer. Excuses multiplied. And when she was present, her frustration boiled just beneath the surface. Haley was overwhelmed, disillusioned, and more than anything angry that her dream marriage had turned into a daily burden. And then there was Donnie. Donnie Dupree, Bill's ex-wife, had reasons to stay away. Their divorce had been complicated, shadowed by resentment, unresolved feelings, and years of shared history. But when she heard about his stroke, she didn't hesitate. She showed up at the hospital. She brought books, fruit baskets, and a calm presence. She asked about his progress. She spoke to his doctors. And slowly, she began appearing more and more. Her concern wasn't performative. It wasn't about guilt. It wasn't even about reclaiming something. It was about Bill. Bill noticed. As Haley's interest waned, Donnie's devotion deepened. She began staying longer, helping Bill get out of bed, preparing meals, tracking his medication. She wasn't just supportive, she was competent. She didn't complain. She didn't disappear. She was there. And Bill, whose entire life had been thrown into uncertainty, started seeing Donnie in a new light, perhaps the same light he used to know. When Bill found himself asking Donnie to take over his care full-time, the decision wasn't dramatic. It was quiet. It was tired. It was necessary. He had to choose stability. He needed someone he could trust. And Haley was nowhere to be found. That conversation, Bill asking Donnie to become his caregiver, marked a major shift in the power dynamics of the Hamilton household. Donnie accepted, not because she saw it as a second chance, but because Bill needed her. For perhaps the first time in a long time, she saw the man, not the mistakes. And for Bill, it was both a surrender and a confession. He couldn't do this with Haley anymore. The next scene brewing is inevitable. Bill confronting Haley. It won't be a fight. There won't be shouting. Just a request. A quiet but firm declaration that he needs her to leave. That her presence isn't helping. That he's decided to move forward with Donnie's support. Bill won't ask for a divorce, at least not yet, but he'll draw the line. He'll tell Haley she can't stay in the house anymore. Haley will break. Not from heartbreak, but from the loss of control. From the sudden realization that her grip on this lifestyle, on her image, on everything she thought she had secured through marriage, is slipping through her fingers. She lash out. She cry. She accused Donnie of manipulation. But deep down, she know the truth. She didn't sign up for this. Not really. She married the version of Bill who gave speeches, who cut ribbons at community events, who bought her diamond bracelets and whisked her away to cabin out the man struggling to get out of bed. And that's when the truth will land the hardest. Because no matter how Haley rationalizes her disappointment, no matter how she paints herself as the wronged party, the reality is unavoidable. She doesn't want Bill like this. And Bill knows it. Meanwhile, Donnie becomes the unexpected constant in Bill's recovery. What started as a series of visits turns into a daily routine. She's there in the mornings to help him stretch. She's there at night with herbal tea. They watch old movies. They talk about the past, not just their marriage, but the choices that led them here. There's tension, yes. There's pain. But there's also familiarity, trust, a quiet, deep bond that never really faded. People in Fairmont Crest begin to talk. Whispers in the grocery store. Glances at the pharmacy. Did you hear Donnie moved back in with Bill? What happened to Haley? I knew that marriage wouldn't last, but Bill and Donnie aren't rushing anything. Not romance. Not reconciliation. Just rebuilding. Yet the inevitability looms. Can they really return to each other? Can they rewrite the ending that once tore them apart? Donnie isn't the same woman she was. Bill certainly isn't the man he used to be. But maybe that's the point. Maybe they had to be broken to remember what it meant to be whole together. Back at the edge of town, Haley doesn't retreat quietly. Her ego won't allow it. She tried to spin the story, play the victim, even threatened to expose secrets, financial documents, past indiscretions, anything that might give her leverage. But leverage only works when the other person is afraid. And Bill isn't afraid anymore. He's tired. He's ready to heal. As the storyline unfolds, viewers will be drawn into the slow-burning fallout of a failed marriage and the rekindling of something once thought lost. The contrast between Haley's shallow affection and Donnie's enduring support creates a clear narrative lineage that reveals what love looks like when the glamour fades. It's messy. It's raw. But it's real. Bill's recovery will be long, painful, and uncertain. But in Donnie, he has a lifeline, a mirror, a quiet strength. Whether it leads to reconciliation or simply peace remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the days of pretending are over. Beyond the Gates is pulling no punches as it exposes what lies beneath appearance, especially when illness forces people to show who they really are. Haley's glamour is gone. Donnie's integrity shines. And Bill, he's learning that the hardest battles aren't won in hospitals but at home, in the spaces where love either survives or vanishes. So the question isn't whether Haley will leave, it's whether she was ever truly there to begin with. And whether Donnie, despite the history, might just be the future Bill never saw coming.